Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through some basic editing skills for LumaFusion. It's available in the App Store. I have it on both my iPad and my iPhone. iMovie is great for video editing, but I believe that LumaFusion gives you a lot more freedom and creativity in the editing process. And it does look a little bit more intimidating than iMovie, but it is, once you start using it, it's super fast and easy to get the hang of. So let's dive on in here. So it opens right up to your project screen. In the bottom left here, you're going to click on that little box second from the left that has the plus sign in it, and that is going to allow you to add a new project. So you're going to go ahead and click and title your project. We're going to do Bobcat Fire for this one. The frame rate, usually keep that at 30. Your frame aspect, standard is 16 by 9, but if you're editing something for, let's say, like our social media story or something like that, you can switch it to portrait landscape, or do the square for anything else, but we'll keep it at 16 by 9 landscape right now. Click done, click that little add button on the top right, and it'll take you into this screen. That bottom box right here, the long box on the bottom, that is your video timeline. That's where all the clips that you're going to be editing are going to be dropped into. In the top left box right here, you have all your clips that you may use, and then on the top right box here, that is your preview area. So the great thing about LumaFusion here too, that I don't believe iMovie allows, I believe iMovie only allows you to bring in clips from your local photos folder, whereas LumaFusion, you see in the top left box, the right corner here, with that download icon, I can choose from Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, Files, or any other source, which is great. So that means, like, if you guys have stuff stored on your, courier files and Google Drive and stuff like that, you can pull that right in, which is super helpful. But for now, I have this album set up on my local files with all my sample clips. Some that I've prepared for from the Bobcat Fire that we're going to use. So let's go ahead and start. For like a title clip, I'll probably use this one. It's a time lapse. It has no sound to it. It has me shooting and then me driving into the fire. So you see it's got these little yellow on the preview screen, which is the big top right box here. You can see the clip on the bottom there. It shows you that it's an 8-second clip. And then you've got these little yellow brackets. These yellow brackets will allow you to select part of the clip if you only want part of it. In this case, we want the whole clip, so we're just not going to worry about scrubbing these and bringing these in. And then we're going to click this little icon. See where I'm scrubbing the right bracket? Right below that is a little arrow. If I click that, that lets me drop in the whole clip right there to my video timeline. So now I've got that clip ready to go. And then I'll go ahead and select another clip here so we can get going. Let's see. So I've got this clip. It's just loading it for me. And now with this clip, I don't want the whole clip, just want part of it. So like I said, I'm going to take those little yellow brackets and scrub it in. Choose my end. And then I can go ahead and preview it by hitting that play button, if it lets me. let's just go ahead and let's select a different clip that may not be as loud. So I've got this. Choose where I want to start in. Maybe a little. So, and then I again click that little arrow. It'll drop in the clip for me. Now, first things first, what we're going to do here, we're going to go and edit the clip now. And you see right along the bottom of the screen here, I've got all these little icons, and that's what I will use for editing. It's got the scissors if I want to split that clip up, which I don't want to do, so I'm going to hit back. Then over to the left of the scissors here, I have that little pencil icon. That'll bring me into the editing screen. And then over from the pencil icon, I've got those, you see the two boxes on the left here. The one with the plus sign, and then the one with the what looks like little audio tickers. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and what that does is separates the audio from the video portion of the clip. And then that way I can go ahead and click on the audio, which is the green box, and then I can go ahead and click that pencil. And then that brings us into the editing screen. And this will allow me to edit the audio. So I'm going to start at the beginning of the audio clip, and you see on the left here it says volume, and it's got those circles with plus signs. Those are going to be my keyframes. So what I'm going to be doing with those is I'm going to add a keyframe. So I'm going to click that little circle with the plus in it, and I'm going to bring the audio here on the right hand side. You see this little slider? I'm going to bring that all the way down. So when we come into that clip, we're not just starting with loud, abrasive audio. And so it's going to start at, all the way down here where it's off. I'm going to go like a couple seconds into the clip here by scrubbing it. And I'm going to go ahead and click that add button again over where the keyframes are. And I'll add another keyframe, and I can bring the audio back to normal. And you see right down here at the bottom where that audio box is, I now have that blue line. And so what that's doing is it's fading in the audio, so it's not super loud, so you can hear it fade into normal. And then I can go towards the end of the clip here, do the same thing, add another keyframe, which is going to be the audio where it is, and then go to the end, and bam, bring it down again to fade it out. So then your final. And so we click the back button on the top left there, and it'll bring us back into that. And now the only other thing here is we don't want the clip. Sometimes we do want a hard cut where it just goes from this clip to this clip, but in this case it would be nice to add a transition. So you're going to go in between the two clips you have, and again down at the bottom you see that little circle with the plus in it. Go ahead and click on that, and you click transition, add a transition. And what that's going to do, that is going to add a transition between the two clips, a cross dissolve. So now you have a nice transition. Now we're going to go ahead, we'll add another clip in here. Let's do, we'll do the helicopter. So we're going to select what we want. Again, drop it in. Now we'll go ahead and add another transition. And what we're going to do here is I'll show you the cool thing about this is if we click on the frame right here and we go to our, again, the pencil to take us into the editing options, you see it goes straight. You can click and do like your speed adjustments if you want to do it in slow-mo or speed it up, which we don't need to do, so we'll just keep it at normal speed. And then to the left of that, you have your frame and fit options. Now again, we're going to be working with keyframes here, so we're going to add a regular keyframe and say I want to zoom in. You see you have your size and position again with our little keyframes there. With the circles, we can add in a keyframe and stuff. Right now it's fit to the screen, but if I want it to slowly zoom in, I'm scrubbing and I'm like halfway through the clip now, and I can either click to add a keyframe, or I can even just go ahead and zoom in to where I would want it to be and kind of angle it, and you see right there it added a keyframe for me, which is nice. And then here I zoom, I can scrub over to where I would want it, and that's obviously not in frame, so I can drag the frame like this, and then you see right there on the timeline it's added a keyframe. And it's not going to jump around for me. What it'll do is it'll gradually move into the keyframe for you. So if I click play, so now basically what it's done, it's added a, I guess you could say a zoom. It's a cheap zoom obviously, but it added a zoom kind of effect for you. So then you can click back. We'll go top left here, click back, and now you've got that all good to go. And again with the cross dissolve, and now at the end of our clips, at the end of our movies, we can go ahead and the same way you added the cross dissolve, you're going to click that circle with the plus. You can add another transition at the end, and what this transition will do is basically fade to black for you, so it doesn't just end abruptly. So now boom. And the only other thing to do, you can do this at the beginning or the end, we're going to go ahead and add a title. So remember, there's no audio in this first little time-lapse clip. So what we're going to be doing here, same thing, same way that you added the dissolve transition. Click on that little circle with the plus in it, and now you see at the bottom those two options. You have your main title or your overlay title. The main title will just add in a blank clip. The overlay title, which is what we're going to use, will add your text over the clip that you're on. So you see how it just added that plain white text above it? Go ahead and click on that. Same thing, you're going to click the little pencil down here at the bottom to come in and edit it. You're going to click on the right hand side here where it says your text here. And that'll drop down and give you all the different options. And then you just double click that, and we go here, Bobcat, fire, and then you click done, and then you know it's got all the different options for you. And you can change the opacity, you can change the size too. And we can put it wherever we want. And then if you click, you see at the bottom where it says titles in blue off to the right there, that's your colors and effects. And so what that will do oh, I'm sorry, here we go. Okay, so now you're under titles here, and you can do different, you can mess around with all these different options for the titles. So change the opacity, your line spacing, all that kind of stuff, the size, the colors, you can go crazy with it. Let's see, so we go back, and then if you have your title selected right here, you can add the transitions to your titles right there, so it kind of fades in and fades out, which is nice. You can do that at the start and at the beginning. Just make sure you have the title selected and not the clip. So see, I added two dissolve transitions to the title, so now it'll fade in and out. So that is basically it. Now exporting. See on the bottom right here, you've got that kind of share button. It's the second from the bottom right with the little arrow. Go ahead and click that. You got your share and export screen. So you're going to share and export. You're going to click movie. You're going to save to photos usually. And then you have all your options. Resolution. We're not going to export at 4K this time, but we'll do 1080p. And then your quality, I always want to do best quality you can, obviously. And then you're going to click on that little button on the top right. And easy as that. It's nice and fast, the export process, because you have all your files right here. So it's just going to go ahead and export it, and it's going to export it right to your photos gallery. And then you can go in and view it and share it, send it, and save it. Alright, so it's all saved, so let's go ahead and we can go and check it out. And there we go. It's that easy.